Alright, hey, hi, hello, how's it going guys? My name is ZetaRayZod and welcome back to more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Now, before I begin, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on to stay up to date on all my latest videos. So, last we left off, we kind of struggled a little bit, you know, because I searched everything already, but the story wasn't progressing. And it turns out we need to talk to Gregson about one of the tickets, because he assumed it was like a different ticket. But we talked to him about it, and we kind of like uncovered blood on it. And when we came to see Gina, we find out that the blood actually belonged to Mr. Mason, which was the murder victim from the third case, if I'm not mistaken, the one that Mr. McGill did. So we do actually finally have definitive proof that Magnus McGill actually did kill Mr. Mason. I mean, it's too late, they're both dead, so whatever, right? But yeah, let's continue to Laura's weapon. Before we came to Great Britain, a great friend of mine taught me a valuable lesson. You mean Kazuma-sama? Listen, Ryunosuke. We lawyers are only human. We can't know for sure what is the truth and what is a lie, which is why we must resort to our primary weapon. An unwavering belief in our clients. That's all we really have. Unwavering belief? Only when we truly believe what our clients tell us can we fight with everything we have for their cause. In any battle, there can be no victory without faith. So I believe you, unwaveringly. What's funny, Gina? Core sounds like this Empire of Japan you come from. Everyone must be soft. Well, come on, look at the mess she's got into, believing in that bot trotter. Yeah, I inadvertently helped the murderer walk free. He died right after though. Well, at least you've learned your lesson now, eh? Believing in people's never worth it. Someone always stabs you in the back in the end. As soon as you let down your guard, you've had it. Take a leaf out of my book. Believe no one. Get hurt by no one. Gina, may I ask you something? What? I'd just like to make absolutely sure. What would you like us to do with these representation papers for tomorrow's trial? How many times do I have to say it? Rip them up and chuck them away. Are you really sure that's what you want? I bet that's what he wants and all now. Mr. I may believe a lawyer and over there. Don't forget it was me and that child 2 months ago. I let everyone up the garden path today. And you're telling me you could believe in me after that? Not likely. Well, Miss Naruhodo, the lawyer's primary weapon is an unwavering belief in his clients. Ultimately, it comes down to whether or not I feel I can trust Gina after everything that's happened. I trust her. Gina, let me say it again. Please allow me to represent you in tomorrow's trial. Eh? Are you half-baked? Not at all. Just a little. You're not once admitted to committing the crime, have you? That's true. She didn't commit it. She didn't admit that she did it. What's more, I believe that you're telling me the truth. Seriously, Mr. Naruhodo. Didn't you hear all of what I said before? I'm a born liar. Feb's just stripped me off my tongue, and I'm a diver, don't forget. I poked the wool over your eyes 2 months ago and got you into all sorts of trouble. Why would you ever trust me now? I just don't get it. Gina, I do understand why you choose not to put your trust in others, but I assure you, there is more to this life than you yet realize. What do you mean? The world we live in. It's full of people you would do very well to trust. People who won't ever let you down. Eh? Shoot, I'm just a student of law, and I'm certainly lacking court experience, but I can promise you this. Whatever happens, until my very last breath, I'm completely on your side. Well, what do you expect me to say to that? Oh, she's crying. Then it's decided. I will take these papers now and carry out the necessary preparations for tomorrow's trial. It will be ashamed to throw them away now after it's been penned with your name so beautifully. Do what you like. The Eastern lot are... I don't know what you are. I don't get you. Here we go. War. Gina's taking herself off to the back of her cell. She'd never admit it, but I hope she's feeling relieved. That turned out alright in the end, I think. Oh boy, it's ending in just like 5 minutes. I could have just ended that in like the previous episode. To be continued. Okay, whoever's hiding there, show yourself at once. Eavesdropping is the height of cowardice. Miss Susato? Somebody's there in the shadows. I can sense it. Somebody who wasn't there before. What? Who is it? Blimey, you're sharp, eh? Oh, sorry. It's Gregson. I suppose you were using one of those mystic Japanese arts, like the art of stealth I heard so much about. If anyone's being stealthy, it was you, Inspector. Gregson. Oh dear me, I'm most terribly sorry, ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you. How long have you been listening in on our conversation? Good grief, listening in? No. I just got word that there was some visitors who were refusing to leave, even though it was after hours. I assure you, your ladyship, I only just arrived, this very minute, not a moment earlier. That's all it is, nothing untoward, nothing at all. After hours? Isn't that late already? So then, I humbly excuse myself now, your ladyship. Ta-ta, toodaloo, cheerio, all the best, bye, and bye. That's a lot of farewells, not one of them appropriate for her ladyship. Oh, but I wanted to have a chat. I'm terribly sorry, but time is pressing at the minute. Oh, I see. That's a shame. And if I don't get this emergency at the Supreme Court dealt with sharpish, Lord Strongheart will. Well, emergency? Lord Strongheart? Nothing. Forget I said anything. Anyway, I'm off. Alright, Gregson. If you have to, but let's chat soon. Delighted. Charm. Can't wait. If you please, my pleasure. It's a lot of pleasantries. Not one of them sounded sincere. Run. Just sprints out. Gregson's so funny. He says such silly things. It's certainly entertaining to see the inspector of the police fawning for a 10-year-old girl. But anyway, I wonder what this emergency is at the Supreme Court. Death. Someone else is dead. I must attend the court clerk's office now before it closes. Yeah, of course. Thank you, Mrs. Sato. Yeah, she's leaving tomorrow. Going back to Japan. Kindly escort Ives home now, Miss Naruhodo. I shall meet you there later. And so, our investigation came to an end. Sato-san went to file the necessary papers for my defense in China the following day. And then, it hit me. I could no longer suppress the wretched feeling that had been gnawing away at my insides. Tomorrow, Sato-san will be leaving Britain and making her way back to Japan. Naruhodo-san, it's been a very trying day, hasn't it? I do hope you're not too exhausted. What about you, Sato-san? Today's been even more trying for you, I'm sure. Mr. Sholmes was shot before our eyes, Gina was arrested, all on the back of the news that her father had fallen ill, that she must return to Japan at once. I hope your father recovers soon. Thank you for your kind words. I wonder why it is that so many thoughts rage in my head like a storm, and yet I seem unable to find the words to express any of them. I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, I have one final task to complete as your judicial assistant. Once that is done, I shall make preparations for my departure tomorrow. One final task? It's just 2 months since we arrived in London, where we managed to establish this office. It's finally feeling as though we were settling in. I would be lying if I said I felt no regret. I'm so sorry, Sato-san. It's just so sudden. I really don't know what to think. I've had no time to gather my thoughts. I know you've only been here a short time, but in my limited experience of the courtroom, I feel I've learned something.
And what would that be?
It seems to me there are many facets to people's personalities.
Facets?
And like a jewel, the light plays off them in complex patterns, illuminating their actions and their motives. But we only see a small number of total facets, and what is illuminated is only a part of the whole story. What lies in the shadows? What do those facets we cannot see look like? Perhaps there's some parts we'll never lay eyes on, for as long as we live. That's so true. Sometimes I feel as though I'm blind to so much. But I keep hoping that one day it will all become clear. That all the facets will be illuminated, and I'll finally understand how everything fits together. Naruhodo-san. I suppose what matters is that we keep our eyes open and keep moving forward, even if the ways sometimes seem dark. It's amazing to think that it's been just 2 months. You've grown so much. Sorry? I've what? Oh no, it was nothing. Unimportant. Do you know what time you'll leave London in the morning? Yes, I picked up my ticket earlier. I should be leaving here at 4 AM. Oh, so early. See, will I escort you to the station? Absolutely not. Sorry? I'm sure you realize why I couldn't possibly let you do that. You have a very important day ahead of you tomorrow. Gina's trial. Yeah, I know, but every word you utter will have the potential to determine Gina's fate. You must get as much rest as possible, even though, like me, I'm sure you'll find it hard to sleep. But please, for me, do try. You mentioned one final task a moment ago. What does she mean? Oh my, I nearly forgot. Please, I want you to have this. Is this her book? What is that? It's a huge bundle of documents. It's my notes from the case 2 months ago. The murder that was committed on the omnibus. The McGilded case. It seems to me that this case of Mr. Winniebank's murder, of which Gina is accused, is very much tied up with that omnibus case, in ways that are not yet completely apparent. So I take the liberty of consolidating my writings about the case for you. With everything else she's had to think about, Santa-san still managed to do this, and all neatly laid out for me in her beautiful handwriting. It was my pleasure. I can only hope that it will bolster your case tomorrow for Gina. Thank you so much, Santa-san. I'll do my best to use it wisely. You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Are you... Is there gonna be more? Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Sorry? I didn't quite catch what you said there. Oh, ignore me. I was just mumbling to myself. No gilded case notes have been entered into court record. Okay. Well, it's getting rather late. I think you should go to bed now, Miss Naruhodo-san. I must finish packing up my things in my room. Susasa-san, I wish you the very best of luck tomorrow. Good night. Oh, wait. There's something I need to say. Yeah! Go! What was that? A secret technique of mine. The Susato shutdown. Shutdown? Please, I implore you. If we have to voice our goodbyes, I won't be able to hold back my tears. Crying! I wonder what he was gonna say. Sato-san. Are you gonna say you love her? I don't know if they'll end up together. We do know he gets married eventually because Felix Wright is his ancestor. On our feet for hours getting Gina to open up to us and learning the truth about that nemesis of a case. Physically and mentally, I was exhausted. And yet, the idea of sleep seemed impossible. But I forced myself to close my eyes. And as a cacophony of scenes of our lives here in London played through my mind, eventually, my fatigue triumphed, and I fell into a deep sleep. To be continued. Oh, huh. Chambers Hospital. Oh, is it? What's his name? Is he back? Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. I'm assuming this is Sholmes? Yep. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Oh, someone else. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell and Godspeed. Susato, my dear madam. What? To be continued. There we go. There's a to be continued. Save. When I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last. One that I remember for the rest of my days. He remembers all of them, like, come on. So dramatic. 17 April, 9:32 a.m. The Old Bailey. Defendants, antechamber. Oh, yeah, she's got rid of the coat. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where is your friend then? Sorry? You know, her in the fancy dress. Susato, or however you say it, I don't know. Ah, Mrs. Sato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that idea? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Mrs. Sato and I won't meet again. One day. Even so, but you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. I'm assuming it's Iris. Yeah. It's Waka Hi, cute. How are you feeling, Jane? Did you manage to sleep? Meow. Iris, what are you doing here? Yeah, what do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Meow. Cute. Ah, Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. I'll let him have his nose around. What can I do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Reno? Janie? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning. Carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? Bad news was a weather report? So I hope that Susie made a train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to report. Gosh, yeah. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I can't give a monkeys really. Only all good news cancel out the bad. And look, this trial's with the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in big purse blunder. See? And you like that? We'll let them say what they want. See if I can. I can't, because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will? And then, in tomorrow's paper, the headlines will be, Discharged driver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno? Oh, yes, let's hope so. Of course they will, I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Today's paper has been entered into the court record. Cool. Good luck then, Reno. I'll do what I can. Huh? Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, give you moral support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing's as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. It's very kind of you. Yeah, see? Told you she'd be my judicial assistant. Oh yeah, Iris. 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 Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering as all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright? Yes. The operation was a great success. But Harley still hasn't come around yet. Yes, he has. We saw him. I've asked a friend of mine at Skulkin to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Sasatsu-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today, to prove that Gina's innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial's about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. It's time then. Alright, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Reno. Here we go! Wahoo! Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that'll secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. It's that. It's not, it's that. It's that, you know. The tone. 17 April. Here we go. Who's the jury now? And he's back. Hey, same people. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Here we go again, Zieks. Prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zieks? My lord? Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly. And here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today, you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are two types of persons I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means Mr. McGilded, who he defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yeah, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies, only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from the tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. What? Did he really just say that? That's racist, y'all. He means you now, you know. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Hermes. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? Which is jelly I won, dipshit. That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zieks' eyes, was that directly solely at me? Was he talking about all Japanese people? And allow me scathing explanation, Lord Van Zieks. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors. Whatever. 0 for 2, dipshit. 2. Right, I won 2 cases against this guy. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in the trial. It's the same people! Only difference is the third guy. And that guy, we've seen him before. He was in this... Isn't he the Russian revolutionary? Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Former lieutenant in the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything. Now I'm ready for it. I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have? Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Good day. I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. How? I thought you gotta be a British citizen. Why is this Russian guy doing it? Is something wrong, Rudo? Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. Jurors are chosen random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know? So I've been led to believe. Something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Van Zieks, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. That's not where your heart is. The heart's in the middle. The heart's in the middle. What are you talking about? The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, this report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Like that. What's that supposed to tell us? It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone, like the accused, you might say. Oh. Prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Autopsy report. Crime scene photo. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment when the incident occurred. Hold on. I just want to have a look at the evidence. Okay. Back on a gently rising diagonal trajectory. Look at that wound! Jesus. Okay. Let's see. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry. The door to the main shop that was found locked. In the sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. You got no proof? Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. That grubby little girl pickpocket anyway. She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums of the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. We must assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Oh, sorry, we mustn't. Here we go. What's your problem now? You gonna throw it? You gonna crack it? My learned Dipinese friend. It is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! After the testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pig purse. A cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zieks. once, my lord. Crime scene. Okay. Winnie Bank revolver. Alright. This isn't good. Let's look at the new evidence. Can't find anything out of place. Maybe it's because you're not looking, sir. This is Mr. Winniebank's gun. The cylinder's completely empty. Mr. Winniebank always used to keep this gun in hand on his shop counter. Yeah, but only ever with single bullet loaded. I understand. That's right. They keep all the pawn articles that in his care safe. But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? Guess we won't know yet. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, you know? I think that's because it has. Wow, I feel escape already. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Winniebank on 16th April of this year. Who is it? Are you shitting me? This guy's a shady AF. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is a baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's same as him. Bias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right, we're what they call the three Skulkin Brothers. What? What are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump me in if you lot. God blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we... Should I give him that? Tell all the bruv. Lost contact with him we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital. And then last night we come across you. Very spit of the bloke, ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Nash, he is. Very spit of him. So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call ya. Let's just give them Australian accents now. Big bruv Sulky. Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin. That's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin Brothers are currently under arrest, my lord. Suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they? These three? No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lie. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle, and in the course of their nefarious activities, they become embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence. Indeed, my lord, while attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Order! Order! Various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to. Because the Skulkins never skulkin. Get out of it. Get out of it. Witness testimony, here we go. I think these are the guys that we saw. We was walking down Baker Street in small hours and the gaff's door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, called blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that. Nice and quiet. Nah, I saw you. I saw you guys. Terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within, only the victim and the accused were found. I must say, this appeared to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yeah. What's the matter, Reno? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. I know that's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose your testimony for the pack of lies it is. Yeah, those are the two shapes I saw. Okay, let's press it. The front door of Whitney Banks was ajar, you say? What time of night was this? Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Selkie? How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, that's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, the old mucker? Leave me alone. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerts the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim. That's pure conjecture. Ha, perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened. That's what happened. Right, yeah. Okay. What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say, don't they, Ringo? They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it? It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that. It weren't, Nash, it weren't, like we said at the time. You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it. It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they? Well, you can't deny it. It led us to a bloke what looks just like our bruv. I said, cut it out. Those chips are getting chomping today. A gunshot, you say? Just the one. You sure about that? Yeah, just the one, Governor. I can swear to that. It was, Nash. It was. Ain't that right, bruv? Firearm used belonged to the victim himself. Yeah, Mr. Winniebeck always used to leave his gun lying around the counter. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver is completely out of rounds. Oh boy, I'm giving you an Australian accent now. Shit, that makes sense. Mr. Winniebeck always used to say he only kept a single bullet loaded. It's true, I remember him saying that as well. So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon. Yes, my lord, we can. Okay. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. There's 2 bullets. Wonderful. Let's see what? Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there's only one other door, that of the storeroom. Of course, there was only a little oil lamp burning, not much to see by. And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by a curtain. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Eh? Any normal PD team would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think. Oh, well, you turned a rabbit, Ringo. Well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. A timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponi's friend... Oh, sorry. My learned Nipponi's friend would seem is of the former. Alright, Senpai just proved that I was a coward that night. Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand that the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses. You didn't do or take anything? Is that your story? Well, it was Bedlam as soon as, weren't it? Hey, it was Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets. So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say? That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. We are, Nash, we are. Never you ever pulled me dukes out me Lucy lockets. So you clearly like us to believe. Eh? Come again. As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Say it's alive. They fired a gun, you say? Ah! Blimey, Governor. You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway. It was. Why the bleeding Nora? Didn't you mention that before? You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes. You shot the great Mr. Sholmes? Did you hear that actually? There was a rumor he rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Skulkin Brothers. Single round is fired. Ooh. Now, my lord Nipponi's friend. Yes? Here's to your successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on his gun and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny of this trial. Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there. However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Williambanks that night. The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker shop that night? Damn, do I even have evidence for that? I don't know. Wait, let's look at it. So there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 cylinders. Yeah, which tells us that only a single shot has been fired from it. Exactly. The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it? Oh. Yeah, it happens almost as soon as you walked in through Williambank's door. I'll make those brothers pay. same thing again. Damn. I don't know. If I could show them the calendar, maybe, but now I don't have the calendar. Oh no. Is the paper? There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well. Look, Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has a finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted? But how would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Reno? No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yeah, could be. It could explain why he has Grexy running from pillar to post in the moment. Okay. Can I look at this one? This says. I want to look at this article. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder. How awful. Virginia, I mean. Tomorrow's headline be Discharged Diver's Dauntless Do-Gooder, right? Yep, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger. Bigger? How? Proud pickpocket. Protects planet post-trial. Perhaps? Protects planet? Ooh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's gonna be so great. I don't know. I really... Oh wait, I do. Present. That? The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth have you there, counsel? During the course of our investigation, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway. We analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? Bang, bang, bang! What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windybank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometimes after the calendar had been sent to 16th. That's right. And while it is irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbroker's line. Nah! Order? How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zieks? Just gonna throw it. Crack it. If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Hey? I take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in a soup. We had a deal. We weren't gonna get into the details. Tell him, Sulky. Sit the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Van Zieks knew the testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you've helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zieks? As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. Ah! In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Winniebank at all. Damn! Alright, you know what? I think we'll leave this episode here. Shit. Now I don't know. I don't know who did it. Or more specifically, if Benedict did do it, did Gina... Is the gun that Gina was holding the one that fired the round? I don't know yet. But we'll find out more as we know it, progress along, we get more of the story, we'll figure it out. So yeah, if you like what you see and you like what you hear, be sure to like, subscribe, and get that bell on so you stay up to date on all my latest videos. As always, be safe, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace!